Hello everyone, welcome to Bad Fashions YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. So today we're going to be learning how to make an off-shoulder straight bustier. So these are the fabrics I'll be using. My Ankara fabric, this is my haystay, my warden, which is also known as breast pad, and then my lining. I'll be drafting directly on my lining. So to determine the amount of fabric to fold, as you can see, I've folded my lining already. To determine the amount of fabric to fold, you're going to be using the biggest circumference of the place you're working with. That's the upper part that I'm working with. And the bust is 42. So 42 divided by 4, that's 10.5. So I added about 5 inches to it. So everything I have here, it's about 17, which is fine. Okay, so I will have an excess, but that will be small. So now the measurements needed are the round shoulder measurement, your bust measurement on the bust, the shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to half length, which is to the upper waistline, okay, or the high waistline. So to get started, I'll be drawing my starting line. So this line, from this line, I'm going to be placing my tape on -5. Remember, I am making an off shoulder, so I want 5 inches to be out of my measurement. So all my measurements will start from -5. So from this -5, I'm going to mark the bust point of my client, which is 11 inches. So here is my 11 inches. Then to underbust, her underbust is 14 inches. So here is also my 14 inches. And then the half length I'm working with is 17 inches. Here's my 17 inches. Then plus half inch for joining the upper part, because this is the upper part to the flare I'm making for it. So basically this is where my 17.5 ends. So I'm just going to straighten out my lines. So first, this is the folded part. And you see this part is folded. So this will serve as my center front. So on this bust line, I'll go ahead and enter the nipple to nipple of my client. And nipple to nipple is 8 inches. So half of it, considering that my fabric is on fold, so that's half of it. Half of it is 4 inches plus half inch for sewing allowance. That's for joining them together. So I'll be marking on 4.5. So I'll also come down here and mark on 4.5, and then also on 4.5. I'll take that 4.5 up to this part, also the upper part. So having done that, I'll go ahead and straighten out my line. So here we are. So now this is the bust line. Let me just label it B, U, and W, which is for the waist, and then this is the starting point. That's my -5. So on this bust line, we already have our nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5. So on the bust part, I'm going to be subtracting 1.5 inches from what I have here. So that will leave me with 3 inches. So that will leave me with 3 inches. Can you see? I have 1.5 less of what I have here. So I'll also come to this side and subtract the same 1.5 on the waistline. So that's leaving me with the same 3 inches. It depends on how grippy you want this to be. You can use 1.5, you can use 1 inch. But a very easy way of knowing what to use is to divide the bust. The bust is 42. 42 divided by 4, that will give us 10.5. And then the under bust measurement is 38 inches. 38 divided by 4, that will give us 9.5. Okay, so the difference between the bust and the under bust here is 1 in the bust and the under bust, that's 1 inch. Okay, so that would have been what I should enter here, but because I want it to be grippy, that is why I am using 1.5. So it depends on how much lift you want to give the bust. So 1.5 is fine for somebody that wants the bust to be very pronounced and come out well. So instead of using that 1 inch, I'm using 1.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and straighten my line. like this, and then I'll bring in my curl and connect it to the bust point like this. Take note of how I'm placing my curl. Can you see that? So now we want to get the upper bust line. So whatever distance you have here, that's from the bust point to the under bust, you can use the same distance as your upper bust line, and then add half inch depending on how covered you want your outfit to be. So here I have 3 inches from the bust point to the under bust. I have 3 inches. I'll be adding half inch to it because this person does not want to expose cleavage. So here I'm using 3.5. So now I have the upper chest line. So I can also label it UC. So now on this point, I'm going to be subtracting half inch because you want to tighten this part. Total I have here is 4.5. So I'll be taking away half inch from it. That will leave me with 4 inches. Okay. So now I'll also bring in my curve like this and then connect it to this half inch I have here. Can you see? Can you see what I have? And then I'll go ahead and straighten my line all the way up to that's to the shoulder line. Basically, this is like the shoulder line, even though it's from -5. Can you see that? So now I'll go ahead and cut out my center piece. So I haven't cut out my center piece. Take note of what I'm doing. I'm going to be flipping it over like this. Remember that this was how it was. I'm going to flip it over like this. You want to make sure that you trace out the same shape that you have here. So I'm just going to pin them together. Understand? So now you can see I have my lines, all lines. You want to make sure that you are placing them exactly, that's all the points are matching up. That's what I mean. So that's why I'm going ahead to pin it. So now I'm going to go ahead and enter my measurement. This is a very simple way of doing it so that you don't have to do too many calculations. So now this is the bust line. Remember I said that quarter of the bust measurement is 10.5. And here on the center piece I already have 4.5 and half inches for joining. So that means I have just 4 inches. So I'm going to be placing my tape from here, from this point. Can you see? I'm placing my tape on -4 in order to enter my 10.5. So here now is my 10.5 because this is part of my measurement. So by the time I place it on this side, it will give me the remaining 4 inches. Let's cut out this shape first before we proceed. So basically what this means is that the dart I took on this side is what I have taken on the other side. So the same 1.5 that I took at the under bust area at the when it was placed this way is the same thing I am taking. So I'm just going ahead to trace out the shape because you want them to be exactly the same thing. So here we are. So let's continue. So I placed my tape from -4 to mark my 10.5 here. So and I'll go ahead and enter 2 inches for my sewing allowance and half inch for joining it to the side. Just the same way, I added half inch to the center piece. So that's a 2.5. So the underbust measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4, that's 9.5. So here I have 3 inches left. 3 inches, half inch will be for joining, so that's 2.5. So I'm going to place my tape from 2.5 here. And can you see I'm placing my tape from -2.5 and then I'm marking on my 9.5, which is quarter of the waist measurement. Then I'll go ahead and add my 2.5 inches. So the waist measurement is the same thing, the same 38. So, and I also have 3 inches here. I'm going to still place my tape on -2.5 because half inches for joining. So here we are, this is our 9.5 and then plus 2.5 inches for my allowance. So now on this part, you don't need the upper bust measurement. Remember, we don't even have it. So now on the shoulder line, we're going to be entering the round shoulder measurement of my client. Remember that the round shoulder measurement I'm working with here is 43 inches. That's the round shoulder circumference is 43 inches. And the front, we have 13 inches. This is what I mean. Sorry, not 13 inches, 12 inches. This is what I mean. From this point to this point for my clients, I have 12 inches. So for the back is 13, for the front is 12 inches. So 12 plus 13, that is what? That will give us 25 inches. So let's write it down. So I said the round shoulder measurement of my client is 43 inches. And I said that the front is 12 inches and her back is 13 inches. So that's 25 inches. So I'm going to say 43 minus 25. That will give me 8 here and then 1 here, so that's 18 inches. So meaning that our sleeve, we're making an off shoulder, so that means the off shoulder, the sleeve is going to be carrying 18 inches. Let me write it properly. Our sleeve is going to be carrying 18 inches. The main bodies, that's the front bodies, will carry 12, the back will carry 13, and the sleeves will carry 18. So 18 divided by 2, because we have two hands, that's 9 on one side, 9 on the other side. Now we are dealing with the front. So here, so for clarity's sake, let's place it this way. I'll place it like this. So now, here we are. So from this point now, let's place our tape. We are looking for a shoulder measurement. Here we're looking for 6 inches because the front here is carrying 12 inches. So 12 divided by 2, that's 6. So here for the centerpiece, I already have 4 inches. So 4 inches, that means I have 3.5 because half inch will be for joining the center and the front. So that's 3.5. So placing my tape here from this 3.5, that's from minus 3.5, this is where my 6 inches is. Can you say that? I need half inch to join the center piece and the side piece. So I'll come here and mark my half inch. Having marked that half inch, I also need half inch to join the sleeve. So this is where my half inch is. So can you see? So basically the armhole will start from this point, like this. That's the armhole of my client because we are looking for the off shoulder armhole. So it will start from this point. So I remember that I placed my tape from minus 5. The armhole of my client is 8.5. So remember that my tape was placed, I placed my tape from minus 5. So this is where I'm placing from minus 5. So this is where my 8.5 is. So this is where her chest line is. Are we getting it? So now I have I marked my armhole. Can you see what I have here? That's from this point that I already marked plus my half inch for joining the sleeve. So this is what we have here. Okay, so now we want to draw our armhole. So now on the armhole, remember that this is the chest line here. So I'm just going to place my tape and enter quarter of the bust measurement. So here already too, what do we have here? We have 4 inches. So 4, I'm placing my tape on minus 3 also. So here is my minus 3. So half of quarter of the bust measurement is 10.5. So plus 2.5 inches. Can we say that? So this is what we have at this point. So now to create our curve, for this one, we're not going to deepen the armhole like we deepen it for our regular bodies. All you need to do now, this is where the bust measurement stops at this point. Just place your curve like this and then connect it like this. For off shoulder, you don't need the armhole to be deep. Remember that we're just working with 6 inches here. So you have taken all the necessary precautions you need to take. So you don't need to go in too much. So now I'll just go ahead and connect my lines. So here we are. Then this will connect to this point like this. You see that you want to blend up any sharp points. So at this point, at the neckline area this way, I'm going to place half inch on top of half inch because I want to do my neckline. So here, so now I'm going to be using a neck depth of 7 inches. So if I'm using a neck depth of 7 inches, remember my measurement started from -5. So I'll place my tape on the same -5 and then I'll mark my 7 inches. So here is the 7 inches. I want to do a sweetheart neckline. I'm going to place my curve this way and then go ahead and mark it. So can you see I have my neckline? So now I need half inch here that I'll be using to turn this neckline. So that means I'm going to go up from this marking now by half inch because I want to finish and still come back to my 7 inches neckline. I hope we understand. So I'm just going to place my tape here and mark on half inch. Can you see that? So this is my half inch for sewing allowance. So basically we are done with our drafting the front piece. So you want to just make sure that you are placing correctly so that you cut out exactly the same thing. So here we are. Take out my pins. So now you can see this is my center piece and these are my side pieces. So here, can you see that? Now we'll place our fabric to cut the back piece. So I've placed my fabric also for the back. This is my starting line. I'm placing my tape from same -5 like I did for the front. For the back length, her back length is 16 inches. So 16 plus half inch, that will give me 16.5. Remember I said her front length was 17 inches. Of course, the front and the back are not equal because we have our bust in front. So I'll still show us how to take care of the difference on the front because this will be joined to the front. So they have to be equal at the sides. Okay, so back to what we're saying. So I have my 16.5 inches here, placing my tape from -5. I'll go ahead and mark my zip allowance of 1.5 inches. So from this center here, this is the center back, I have my zip allowance. And take note that this part is on fold, Can you see? So this is the folded part. So this is the center back. So now I'll place my tape from -5 and then mark on my 8.5 inches, which is for the armhole. So here is the armhole line, which is also the chest line, and then this is the waist line. So basically these are the measurements I need here. So remember I said for the back that the neckline at the back there, we're going to be using 13 inches. I said the front is that from the round shoulder measurement, which is 43, 13 inches is for the back, 12 is for the front, and then 18 is for the sleeve, so which is 9. So here is the back now, and I'll be entering half of that 13 inches, which is going to be 16.5. I'm sorry, 6.5. Half of 13 is 6.5. So here is my 6.5. Of course, we need half inch for joining our sleeve, so that will bring us to 7 inches. So I'll bring this 7 inches mark down. So from here is where I'll be drawing my armhole. So now on this chest line, I'll enter quarter of the bust measurement. Take note of how I'm placing my tape. I'm placing my tape from the zip allowance, away from the zip allowance. So here is 10 and quarter, 10 and a half, then plus 2.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So here on the waistline, I'll be entering the waist, half quarter of the waist measurement, which is 9 1/4, 9 1/2. Sorry, not 9 1/4. Half quarter of the waist measurement is 9 1/2. So plus 1 inch for that, and then 2.5 inches here. So this is what we have at the back. So the back is really simple. It's just your basic bodice. So can you see I've connected my line. So now we want to draw the back armhole. So I'm going to just place my curve like this and then connect it to this bust measurement. So this is what we need for the back. So the back neckline I'll be using, I'll come down. Remember that we started from -5. So here I want to use 6 inches. So I'll just come down by 1 inch. Okay. And then place my curve like this. Can use this one. Just place it this way and curve it to this point. Yes, sir. So I also need 1/2 inch for turning the neckline. So I'm just going to add my 1/2 inch for my sewing allowance. So this is what we have. So now for the center back, we're going to eliminate bulge. Remember that we have the spinal cord around this side and it's not straight, it's a bit inwards. So from this zip allowance, I have a zip allowance of 1.5 here. This is my 1.5 here. So I'm going to be subtracting 1/2 inch from the zip allowance here. Okay, you see that? So I'm slant it all the way to the neckline like this. So I'll be cutting this and throwing away. This is to eliminate bulge at the back of the blouse. So I'll just throw this away. So now we'll go ahead and cut out. So I'll be cutting on this 1/2 inch I added for my joining allowance or for turning the neckline. So I'm just going to come this way and cut from here like this. So this is what we have for our back. So you can see that when we place like this, can you see that there's this space in between? So this is that bulge. So by the time it comes together like this, it will have a way of just sitting well at the back. So now bring in my front piece to show us how to eliminate that difference by the side. So now to take out that difference, because you can see that the front is longer than the back. Can you see? I have a difference here of about, I use 17.5 inches for the front, and here I use 16.5, so that's about 1 inch difference. So I'm just going to subtract that 1 inch from here. That's even about one, was it? What did I, yeah, it's about 1 inch difference. So I'm just going to take it away from here. So take note of what I'm doing. At the side here, I came up by 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and subtract it like this. That's just slanted this way. So this is from the side here. So I'll just cut it out like this. So now after taking out my difference, so you can see it didn't affect the center. Everything here, they are still equal. So now I'll bring in my back. Can you see that the sides are matching up? Remember that we'll be joining them together, so they need to match up. So here too, you can see the second one is also matching up with what we have here. So I haven't taken out our difference. We are now fine. So now the next thing I'll do is to cut out my Ankara fabric, and then I'll also go ahead to fuse it like I fused this one. I'll fuse the lining with paper stay and also fuse the main fabric with my hair stay. Then I'll show us how to cut the pad for it. So I have my off-shoulder bustier, and I've also gone ahead to fuse it with my hair stay. So you can see my fabric is more stable. Okay, so now it's time for us to cut our pad. So I'll be showing us how to pad our off shoulder bustier. So first I'll place my side pieces together, and then I'll come here and notch the underbust. This part that goes in is the underbust. Notching the underbust, I'll also place my centerpiece like this and notch the underbust too. So having done that, I'll keep that aside and then pick one of my side pieces. Then I'll place it like this over my pad. Can you see the notched point I have here? So from the upper part of the off shoulder, I'll just come down by 1 inch. Can you see that? This is my 1 inch. So you can see where my pad stops. This is 1 inch away like this. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and trace out this shape that I have here. Just trace out the shape here like this. So I'll stop at the underbust point. Having done that, I will lift up my pad, and then I'll come to this side. This part is more protruding, that's my bust point. So I'm going to be entering half of the nipple to nipple measurement plus 1 inch. So in this case, the nipple to nipple measurement of my client is 8 inches. 8 divided by 2, that's 4, plus 1 inch. So you can do plus half inch depending on how full you want this side to be. So in this case, I'm doing plus 1 inch. So I'm just going to curve it to meet this 5 inches here, 5 inches. I curved it to meet it, and then I'll curve it back to this point. So can you see that? So I'll go ahead and cut out like this. So this is going to be the pad for the side piece. So let's place it this way. Can you see what we have? So you can see this part that has the fullest part of the bust. It's more protruding. So I'll need 2 of this. So I'll cut the second one and show us how to cut the center. To cut my center piece, I've notched to this point also. So I'm just going to place my wording this way. You see? Just going to place it this way. I'll also come down by 1 inch from this point. So now this is what I'll be doing. Let's mark the 1 inch here. And then here, I'm just going to mark the same 1 inch here. So I'll trace out this shape that I have here. So I want to just shift a little. Okay. So then come this way like this. Okay. This is 1 inch below the neckline. So I'll just come here now and take it straight like this. So this is called full padding. Okay, so you can do half padding. It can also be like this. That's half padding. Can you see? You can have this. You can see how they overlap on each other. All you need to do, you can just trim out the excess, because remember that this is nipple to nipple plus 1 inch. So of course it has to overlap, because this is why this here we have the nipple to nipple just plus half inch. That's half inch of both sides. That's 1 inch. So here now nipple to nipple plus 1 inch. That's at the end of the day, that's even 2 inches. So can you see this is half padding? Can you see the shape I have here? This shape gives you the underbust. This is how the underbust of a human being is. Okay, but now you can see that this is full that I'm doing. I want this to be full. So I'll have to create this shape now by myself this way. So from the center here, I will go up by 1.5 inches. So on this 1.5 inches, I'm just going to cut it down like this. So can you see? So automatically, can you see that I now have that shape that is supposed to be here? So this is called half padding, and this is full padding. You can see that there is no space in between them. So this either of the two, anyone you feel like doing is fine. So now I will come here. Can you see that my pad is showing on the neckline area? So all I need to do is to come here and create this sweetheart shape. So, and then I'll place it like this, placing it from the underbust here. So can you see that I have my sweetheart shape here? So, and remember that we're making an off-shoulder outfit. So I'm going to be ironing gum stay to this part. I want this part to really stand well. So I'm just going to cut 2 inches gum stay and place it on this part. So I'm done ironing my gum stay to the neckline. After doing that, I went ahead to press the pad. So you can see this pad is traceable, it has gum on it. So all you need to do is to place the shiny part on the fabric. That's make sure that the shiny part is the one facing the fabric this way. That's my palm is facing the fabric so that you can press it and then it will stick to it. So you can see they are all stuck to it. So I've done the same thing for this one. So now I'm going to be showing us how to properly sew our straight cut bustier together. So I have my straight bustier. You see this is my center piece and my side pieces. So to join them together, I'm going to place this over this like this. You see that's the side piece. And then I'll be sewing on half inch. So you want to make sure that this part that is curved, that's here, your underbust point is aligning properly. So after sewing, this is what I have here. Remember that I went ahead first, I notched the underbust so that it can give me that relaxed look. So this is before ironing. Can you see what I did? So I'm going to sew the other side too like this. So, and this is what I have too on this side. This is what I have also. So I'm going to take it to my ironing table to press it. So first I'll go ahead and notch all these parts. So to iron it, I'm going to be using my bust ham. So I'll open my seam lines like this and then I'll place it on the bust ham. I want to make sure that you are placing it very well. And then I'll bring in my stain iron on this side too very well. So after ironing, you see what we have. So I'll turn it to the right side. Can you see? So for the right side, when you want to iron the right side, you want to cover this part. You don't want it to you don't want to use your iron directly on this part so that it doesn't shine. You know that iron can make our Ankara fabric shine. So you can get a white material, maybe a white lining. Just use it to cover this side and then iron. So I'm just going to get the white fabric and show us how to iron the other part. Just use your fabric like this, cover it a little so that you don't. So here we are. So can you see this is what I have. My bustier is sitting very nice. So you can see this on the bust. You see what is happening here. So this person can wear this dress without a bra and it will fit well. So you just want to make sure to iron this part too like this. You see? So here. So you can use haste, they can use paper stay or haste stay to keep your seam lines permanently opened. That's fine. You can just use your haste stay, just cover up this place so that your seam lines are open. And then again, you can actually go ahead and top stitch if you want to top stitch. But in my own case, I'm going to be using haste stay to keep it opened. paper still. I'm just going to cut a circular shape like this, and then I'll place it on this part. Just want to leave your seam lines open, so this will make the bustier, even when the kid start washing the dress, everything will still continue to sit the way it is from the way it is from the first day the dress was sewn or the bustier was sewn. Okay. Okay. So this is it. So I'm going to cut exactly the same thing. So now, can you see what it looks like? So you can see how it is. So with the way it is facing down, you will know that this is going to the overbust is well tightened, so you're not going to have any gaping around this side. Okay, so this is it. Let me place the underbust here. Can you see what it looks like here on the underbust? The cup is sitting well, so even with the underbust being held down, can you see that this place is not gaping? You see what I'm talking about? It's still facing down. You want to do yours in a way that it will still be facing down. If you tighten it correctly, it will be facing downwards. You don't want it to be something like this. This will gape. So, but by the time it's facing down this way, you are sure that you have done the right thing. So I'm going to just use my lining to turn the neckline. Okay, so here we are. I'm done ironing my bustier. Can you see? And also I've stitched the neckline. As you can see, I have my sides too. I've also stitched them down and it's looking all neat. So here are my back pieces. I've also gone ahead to stitch the neck. That's the upper part, which is the off the shoulder side. And then my zip allowance too. And I went ahead to pin it down. I've also sewn my darts. Can you see? And then the sides too, I went ahead to turn it in to sew it with my French finishing so that I don't have to weave it. So can you see what the bustier looks like? Everything is coming out really well. So for this off shoulder bustier, I'm going to be making a drum sleeve for it. So I'm going to post that video right after this video. So you don't want to miss out, please kindly make sure to subscribe. Put on your notifications so that you get notified once I post in the video. And also don't forget to share, like, and comment. Thank you for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.